You are now tuned in to the Dads Who Lift podcast. Please give us a like, share, subscribe to the YouTube account. We are on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. All the podcast links are in there. We also have an apparel line. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Official handle. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a Dads Who Lift fitness group on Facebook that's Dads Who Lift Official. A group of 30,000 like-minded dads that are just trying to be their best selves and staying fit. If that's something you're into, please check it out. But we do this stuff for free, guys, so please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We really appreciate your support. You are now tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gata.
Co-host, Joel Staley.
And we have on, actually, Josh actually just took a big leap, quit his fucking job, and came to work for me.
You officially quit?
Yeah.
Dude.
Bro.
That's why he's here. So we got Josh Orsman on. Say what's up.
What's up, guys?
So Josh has been the Dads Who Lift podcast manager for a while. He just did it like part-time, runs our posts and shit like that. If you had a creepy DM from, a dude asking for dick pics or something from Dads Who Lift, it was probably Josh. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do that. But no, he's been running the Dads Who Lift. He's been the Dads Who Lift podcast manager for a while. He's been doing a great job. And I had another position open up in a couple of my other companies that I needed some help with. And I need help getting my coaching program finally launched too. So we just kind of decided to collaborate together and bring him on full time. To kind of get everything rolling, different aspects, different things that need to get going. So it's pretty exciting. But it's a pretty big leap of faith from him because he had, just like you, I mean, he's not starting at a low salary with me by any means, but he had a cake-ass job with, benefits and fucking 401ks and security and, something, a job that people stay the rest of their life at and retire. And he decided to come over with me to kick off this coaching program that's not even launched yet, for hopes and dreams of bigger things. So he's believing in the program. He's believing in me. He's believing in what we're doing. Which is cool as fuck, but it's a high risk. If it doesn't work out, it flops, which is not going to. He's not going to make more money. You know what I mean? So
Opportunity knocked.
That's right.
He opened the door.
Right. And that's actually kind of ties into our topic, to be honest with you. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so I've been thinking a lot lately because I try not to talk about it too much because I don't want to be like a CrossFitter who starts doing CrossFit and then all they talk about is CrossFit or vegan or whatever the hell it is. But I'm doing the 75 hard, and normally I'm a drinker. I like to have a nice little glass of whiskey at the end of the day and
Stoke.
catch up with my thoughts, kind of relax, wind down a little bit. But sometimes that'll lead to 2 or 3 drinks of whiskey, which leads to like getting in the cupboards and eating like shit, which then like leads to sleeping in, hitting snooze on the alarm, maybe missing the gym. And it's like this revolving door of shit that unfurls when you start making those decisions. So the 75 hard for me and cutting out the booze, it's really allowed me to.
And you're on what day?
27 today.
Which is a big fucking feat, man.
Yeah, and I'm digging it, but the main part isn't like the physique transformation or anything like that. It's really just I feel like when I wake up every morning, when I go to bed every night, I feel like I'm putting in the work, and I feel like I am earning opportunities to come my way, and I'll be ready for them. Because the problem with when I'm drinking or making bad decisions like that is, or just drinking excessively, I'll say. You can have drinks and be fine. But I truly believe that you need to act like a millionaire if your goals.
Some people can have drinks and be fine.
Yeah.
Like I feel like during my cut, I've been dabbling. I did 75 hard again. Quit it or finished it like 3 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago. And ever since then, I've been drinking here and there, not like every day or excessively, but like a drink a week or whatever.
Exactly.
And my progress on my cut has stalled. I mean, I haven't gained any weight, but I've been at 215 ever since. Actually, I think I was 216. So maybe I dropped 1 pound in 3 weeks, which is not optimal. And my whole point is like, I want to live every day optimal, especially in a fucking cut, or if I'm trying to do something, or if I'm trying to do something extraordinary. If I want a different life than everybody else, and I want to do these crazy ass amazing fucking things that most people can't do, then you have to live differently. And every fucking day has to be executed and perfect. And that one fucking day of drinking or 2 days of drinking a week, even if you only had like 3 or 4 drinks a night, for me, when I'm trying to cut, fucking tanks my metabolism. And that night I drank, then I already fucked up and drank. So then I go ahead and, oh, what's a bag of chips if I already fucking drank? Who cares? You know, so then you cheat on your diet and the whole thing's just out the window for the whole week. You know, you can fuck up. If you're doing standard regular dieting, calories and macros, you know, you're lucky to lose 2 pounds a week. Most people lose like a pound a week. You can fuck that up in one night.
I got a story that you actually just reminded me of, and it ties in perfect with this. So when I signed up for my first fitness competition in 2016, I was religious. If my plan said to do a rep or a certain rest time, or I had to stick to this meal plan, I wouldn't have like a kernel of popcorn if it wasn't on my plan. It was like perfect dedication, 100%. And my dad picked me up because he was my oil boy for my first competition. And he was like, you nervous? You nervous? And I was just like stoic because I responded. I was like, you know what, man, I've done fucking everything I could possibly do. So if I get last place, at least I'm going to know in my head, I put the work in, I showed up, I did my part.
Right.
Ended up placing first in my class and second overall. But then the next year, I was like, okay, well, I've been working hard all year. I had a couple cheat meals, a couple drinks here and there, like nothing crazy, but like, you know, I can get away with that. I'll throw in some extra cardio.
Right.
And then before I stepped out on stage that second year, I was like kind of shaking. I felt my heartbeat going like this. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I think it was my subconscious was like, dude, you didn't
give it your all.
You didn't do everything.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple shortcuts you took. You cut some corners and placed like 5th. And I think a lot of that was just my physique looked fine, but my confidence, my whole aura, I was giving off the impression of like, oh man, I didn't put the work in like I had this last time. So much like your coaching business, I'm starting a passion project just to help some other online coaches and consultants scale to 7 figures. And what I was putting together a training, and the whole point of it was you're not going to keep the habits you have now, like sleep until 10 a.m., not get out of your pajamas all day, drink every night.
Especially for people that are working at home right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to keep those same low 6-figure or high 5-figure habits and then just luck into creating a 7-figure business. You have to put the horse before the cart. You have to start dressing like someone that runs a 7-figure business. You have to start honoring your commitments and hone your work ethic into someone that runs a 7-figure business. You have to truly embody that person before those opportunities come. It's never vice versa. You don't get the 7-figure business and all of a sudden just ingrain these habits. You have to ingrain the habits first, and then the opportunities come.
Right.
So that's what's nice about the 75 Hard, to make a short story long like I just did. But I truly feel, all right, I'm waking up at 4 o'clock every morning. I'm working out twice a day. Diet's on point. I'm reading every day. Absolutely no shit going on. I truly feel like I'm going at it 100% like I was training for that first competition. And that when opportunities come my way, like who better to knock them out than me?
Right.
So that's all I wanted to say is you don't just wait for opportunities to come and then expect that you're going to level up and match that challenge. You have to level up on your own, and then those high level opportunities come your way.
You have to be the part before you get the part.
Yeah.
Right? That's really what it comes down to. So just like you said, so I'm just thinking of an example here, right? So say there's a high level business owner, right, that's doing 7 or 8 figures a year. Look at Andy Versella for prime example, right? Dude is fucking at First Form 24/7. I mean, we're an Arete syndicate. Coaching calls are usually at 5:30 to 6:30, usually run till 7. Where's he at?
Fucking
First Form. He's not doing them at his house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's after hours. That's at night till 7 o'clock that night at First Form. You know what I mean? And he's there every morning, every single morning. So you got this high level exec or high level business owner that's putting in the fucking work, and he's doing $100 million a year, right? He's put in the work to get the outcome of $100 million a year. Now, let's think of another guy that right now is working from home, right? COVID shut shit down. A lot of places aren't bringing office personnel back to buildings. You know what I mean? They're giving them the option to work at home. So this guy works from home. So he doesn't start work till 9. So he gets to now sleep until 8:45. He rolls out of bed, turns his computer on or logs in so they think he's working, but really he's got another hour before he has to do anything. Does his laundry, throws his laundry in from last night because he didn't get it done. Does his dishes because the sink's piled over dishes from the night before, didn't get it done. Makes his coffee, then finally logs on, does some work, is in his fucking PJs all day long. Doesn't get out of his fucking PJs from work all day until maybe he has to go get the kid or, pick the kid up from daycare or go to the gym or whatever he's doing in the afternoon, run to the grocery store or whatever it may be. That's not putting in your full potential. Like, that's not living up to your full potential. And that's not putting in everything that you have. So to say that you would take that lifestyle of, man, I roll out of bed 15 minutes before I got to be at work. I put in I put in enough effort to get by. And think that you're going to take that lifestyle and those habits and the way that you live your life in that situation and turn it into somebody that's making $100 million a year or even say 8 figures a year is ridiculous. You have to be that person that wakes up well before you have to be at work. Just like you said, you're waking up at 4 a.m. right now. I'm trying to wake up at 5:30 a.m. right now because I work at 7. That way I can get my yoga and my meditation in, like my morning routine in before I actually start work at 7 down with my guys. But somebody like that, gets in, is dedicated, puts every fucking ounce of effort into everything that they have throughout the day, does the extra things. If there is a coaching call later at night or a client contacts them on the weekend or whatever it may be, they go the extra mile and do those things to get the result of where they want to be. They're basically living that person. Basically what I'm saying is you have to live that lifestyle and you have to be that person that you think it's going to take to get the result that you want before you actually get the fucking result. That's how you actually turn it into getting the result. You can't put in less effort than it takes to get the outcome that you want in life and then expect to still get the outcome that you fucking want in life. You have to put in the effort that you think it's going to take, and if not, probably more, to actually build it into the outcome that you want to get out of life. You know what I mean? If you look into say someone's fucking dream goal is to get married and have a family someday, right? But right now all they're doing is running around partying and fucking a bunch of different chicks. That outcome is not going to get you your fucking wife. As long as you want a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage, that outcome is not going to get you your fucking wife and your kids and your forever after down the road. You can't run around and be a fuckboy and then just think it's going to overnight, you're going to fall into some pussy that fucking marries you and turns everything around. Like, it's not how it works. You have to turn yourself into a good person that matches the person that you want to be with before you actually find that person that you want to be with. Like attracts like. It's the same way through business or anything else that you look at. You just can't expect to be less than what you want to receive. You have to match or be better than what you want to receive in every area of life. Business, relationships, friendships,
fitness is a great example.
Yeah, fitness in the gym, anything. Like fitness is a great example. I mean, you're not going to put in, you can't be 50% on your diet and go to the gym 2 to 3 days a week and put in half effort, or even go to the gym every day, but put in half the effort and not fucking rep out and go to your full potential and think that you're going to get on stage someday or you're going to be lean someday. It's not going to work. Like I just said when we were talking about 75 hard, I went 60 some days perfect on my plan. And I dropped, I think it was 58 days or 60 days. And I dropped like 16 pounds. Like every single week I had drops. Every single week. It was going great. Then I fucking got off my 75 hard. Still haven't been horrible. I'm actually pretty good for the most part, but there's been a couple cheat meals, been a couple, maybe one night a week I've drank. And we're not even talking like getting fucked up like 20 drinks or whatever. We're talking like maybe 4 to 6 drinks, like 4 to 6 Michelob Ultras, which to me is a pretty big guy. It's not that much. And my progress has stalled to 0. I mean, I'm exactly where I was when I did that. You can't put in 50% of the effort and expect 100% results. You can't put in 50% effort and even expect fucking 70% results. You put in 50% effort, you're actually probably going to get like 30% results. Right? So it goes all the way around.
And I think confidence is supreme when it comes to a lot of these opportunities in life, because think if me and Josh are both going for a promotion, right? And every time I come in the office, Josh is already there. He's working. He's working through lunch. He's making 20 more calls. I see the call logs. He's making way more calls out than me. And then there's a promotion available and I see Josh is going for it. Whether I'm a naturally confident individual or not, thinking, oh, I'd be good at that job, at least in my subconscious, if not all of my brain, I'm going to be thinking, well, fuck, dude, I can't compete with Josh. He's working so much harder than me. Whereas if I could reverse that and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to show up 5 minutes before Josh. If he makes 20 calls, I'm making 22, and I'm not clocking out until I see his car leave the parking lot. Then that same promotion comes up and I'm like, that's a no-brainer, right? I'm putting the work in, so I know that I'm the right fit. And then when I go interview for that job, even if I don't bring up all those things that I'm doing to outperform him, I'm going to give off that aura like, dude, I fucking belong here. This job is mine. Whereas if you are really in the back of your head thinking like, man, I do good at this job, but I do know Josh is working a lot harder than me right now. Would he be better than me? You're not going to get the job because it's going to show just like it did for me on stage. You're going to be a little nervous. You're going to have some self-doubt, and that self-doubt is going to hold you back.
Yeah, I mean, confidence-wise is a big thing, but also even just in that scenario right there was another prime example of being what you want to receive before you actually receive it. I mean, if you really are putting in all that extra effort above your position and you're being more than the role that you're in right now, you're actually already acting the role that you want to be down the road. That's how you get the role that you want to be down the road.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Make it.
Yeah, 100%. And but confidence does have a big fucking role to play in it too, which that's one of the biggest things in manifesting, man. And I started back in my routine. I've been doing it for like a week now, and it feels great. I've been manifesting every single morning and every single night before bed. Like I won't go to sleep without doing my manifestation, and it's been great. And that's a big part of being. That's a big part of this whole topic. That's a big part of being who you want to receive before you actually get to that point. Like being the person that you want. God, how do I say it that makes more fucking sense?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like picture yourself on the role that you want to be, right? Be that fucking person now.
Yeah.
That's how you get to the role that you want to be. Like that's it. You know what I mean? And that's what manifesting is I read out what I want my dream future to be. I read it out 3 times. I've got like a dialogue written on a sheet of paper, and I read it out 3 different times. And then I throw some manifestation music on, like some meditation music on, and I shut my eyes and I just roll through that. But I live that. I see it. I fucking smell things. I feel things. I taste things. Like I as if it's already here, not as like it's coming down the road. Like my first thought is, it's here now. This is here now. And I go through it as if it's here now. And when I go through something as if it's here now, that means that I am that person now that's going to receive that. Like that's here. I'm living that now. It's so fucking weird to talk about or even think about, but that's how you propel yourself to get it in the future. That's how it comes. Like we said, you have to shut your eyes and just picture whatever the fuck you want. I mean, even if it's something stupid like a Lamborghini, right? Shut your eyes and picture whatever your dream life is down the road, whatever you want, whether it's a wife or, a child or money, $1 million a year or $1 million in my bank account or a Lamborghini or a private jet. Shut your eyes and picture that of what you want, and then think to yourself, the guy that has that, how does he live his life? What does he have to do? What kind of person is he? What kind of work ethic does he have? What kind of morning routine does he have? What times he wake up every morning? What times he go to bed every morning? What kind of work does he put in? How does he treat people? What are his core values? Those are the things you got to think about. And whatever that is to you, that person is to get that result, that's who you got to become. And then that's how you get that result.
So how does Josh, let's pick your brain on this.
Oh, man. Josh's going to put in some input.
Give you a chance to talk.
Right.
So how does someone who's just say they're stagnant, they're where they're at, but they want to level up, they want to become this person that will attract these opportunities to them, how would you recommend they take the first steps on doing that?
Well, it's kind of like Tyler was saying, he's manifesting twice a day, in the morning and at night. So he's putting the ideas in his brain and thinking about it, he's actually picturing it. So it's like, okay, these are the things I want. Now it's stuck in your head for the whole day because you've thought about it twice every single day. So now it's like, okay, these are in my head. These are the things I want.
Try to tap the table. It fucking echoes through the mics.
So it's kind of like what am I going to do to this? Okay, so like Tyler said earlier, if you wanted a wife and kids and stuff like that, then basically it's okay. If I'm a fuckboy, that's not
quit being a fuckboy.
Right, quit being a fuckboy. If you want a good woman, like me for example, I used to post shirtless.
Josh was kind of a fuckboy. He was kind of a fuckboy.
Sorry, Megan.
We've all been there.
Yeah, Megan, don't watch this podcast.
So, I'd show off my abs all the time on social media to where my friends unfollowed me.
Yeah, me and Joel both unfollowed.
It was a little
Actually,
bit
I don't think
much.
Joel I don't think follows them.
Joel does not follow me.
I don't follow. Well, I'll tell you
Joel's
why
has
real
never
quick.
had social media.
I'll tell you why. Because if I don't even follow Amy on Instagram because I have VAs running through my Instagram. I unfollowed everyone that I personally know because they go through and they DM people trying to. It's like a CRM for me.
Gotcha.
So I don't want them messaging my friends and being like, "Hey man, can I sell you a program?"
Right.
So literally, it's nothing but strangers on my
That's fair.
Instagram.
Right.
But back to the actual topic.
But we did unfollow him when he was fucking. All he was doing was posting shirtless
He
selfies.
made me
and
feel
shit.
bad about my app, so I was
Yeah.
like, I
Okay,
can't follow
sure.
this dude.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you're doing that kind of thing, do you want the woman that's showing off every day to get attention on social media? Like
Seeking attention. That's a big thing.
Right.
A lot of people do on social media.
exactly. And people nowadays think like social media is their entire life. But back to the actual topic.
How do they take the first couple steps?
Hang on,
So
let
they're
him
like,
go.
all right,
I think he's on the right track.
this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be. What are the steps they can take to?
It's about taking chances. I feel like if you believe in something, take the step to get to where you want to be. So if it's, whatever it is, a new job opportunity that I think will do really well. I believe in Tyler. He's a good friend of mine. I believe in his coaching capabilities. So I took the chance. When opportunity arises, don't be afraid. Most of us have skills to fall back on, so why not take the chance, take the risk. I don't want to end up like the guys at my company. They've been there 30 years and that's all they've done their entire life. And it seems kind of miserable, like I want to take chances. I want to be able to, make 6-7 figures a year and live comfortably and do the things I want to do and spend more time with my family, raise my kid. So kind of take the chance,
This is a great point because you're not going to make the 6-7 figures if you don't act like someone would, burn the ships, go work for this opportunity. You're taking an action in accordance with that man that you ultimately want to become.
Right.
And that's it. Because people will say they want to make 7 figures a year, and you're like, well, why don't you just quit your job and go like work for the startup with huge growth potential? And they'll be like, oh, I could never do that. Well, then what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Because you want one thing, and your actions are
You're not willing to put in the work and take the risk and take the chances to
right.
get it.
You're not acting like somebody who would get that result.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right.
Most people get scared, we're like creatures of habit. So we get in this habit of doing the same thing over and over and over. And, it's like a cycle and we feel safe, but you're never going to get to where you want to be if you're just doing the same shit over and over and over.
Well, most people are more fearful of what they have to lose than
What they have to gain.
Pumped up about what they have to gain.
That's a big point right there, honestly.
Take that from someone who talks to.
And hang on, dude. A huge point to this is most people are comfortable where they're at, even though it's not where they want to be. Like most people will sit there and bitch all day about their life and where they're at in their life, but they're comfortable with it. And anytime you get them outside of that comfort zone, they freak the fuck out. So it's like I'll sit here all day and bitch about, oh man, I don't want to live in an apartment anymore. Or, you know, I hate being, you know, tied to this bill or that bill or whatever. Like I can never seem to get ahead. Things just never seem to align. But then when an opportunity does arise, they're too scared to take it. It's like anytime they get out of their comfort, like, all right, I live in an apartment right now. I fucking hate living in an apartment. I really would love to have a house, or I really love to live in this mansion. You know what I mean? But then like they come home at the end of the day and have less responsibilities because they live in this apartment, and they're actually truly like they're comfortable in that scenario, even though they want to sit there and bitch about it all day. You know what I mean?
Or they're
like,
not saving money for it.
Well, that's because they're comfortable in the scenario.
Right.
Like if you really don't like something in your life, you change it. Like if you really fucking if you're in enough pain and angst over something in your life, you change it. If you don't fucking change it, then you're accepting it. Like if you don't change it, then you really don't want it any different that bad. You know what I mean? Like you really, it's not that big of a deal to you if you're not actually changing it and changing the course in your life. You might say it's a fucking big deal, but if you're not making changes to change that portion of your life to get something different, it's really not a big fucking deal to you. Let's be honest. Let's not lie. Like, you know, I hate this part of my life. I can't stand this right here, but yeah, I'm never going to make any changes to get out of it. Sorry, dude, you're accepting it. It's really not that big of a deal to you. Like you're fucking lying to yourself. If it was that big of a deal to you, you would do whatever the fuck it was in your power to make that change and get the fuck done with that and get out of that and move forward in your life and do something different.
I have a question I want to ask both of you. There's no right answer. This is something me and my sales guys
There's a
talk
right
about.
answer. It'll be my answer.
There's no right answer. Well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what you say. So we have noticed when we're taking, for my fat loss coaching program, when we take sales calls, there is a 300-pound rule where anybody who's 295 to, let's say, 298 and lower, high probability that they're going to take action, they're going to move forward with those, get awesome results. Anybody over 300 pounds, the chances of them actually signing up, who you would think needed the most, right? I spoke to a gentleman last night who was 380 pounds. He said he didn't have his daughter till he was 40. She's 2. He's like, can't do anything with her, keep up with her, wants to be around to walk her down the aisle. You'd think it's a no-brainer, but
right.
I knew going in he wasn't going to sign up because I've done this a long time.
380 pounds?
He was 380.
Okay.
Yeah.
My.
But what you've noticed is anybody over 300, they're about 20% as likely to sign up as somebody that only has 15 to 50 pounds to lose. So my question is, why do you think that is? Because from what you're saying, they should be in the worst spot, right? They have the most to lose, literally and figuratively, but they're also the least likely to actually do anything about
That's
it.
easy. Tyler already answered that. It's because they've gotten so far and so bad into it that obviously it hasn't been that big of an issue. So they're just continuously doing it. So why now? You know, you've already known it's a problem.
I think this one, I disagree. I think this one comes down to fear. So this one, I mean, if you're fucking 380 pounds, you're not comfortable, man. I think that I guess it part goes to what you're saying, but I think you get kind of like everybody has like their point of no return, you know? And when you get so fucking far into something, people just don't believe in themselves.
I think it's a combination of both.
They don't think that they can lose that weight. Like, I'm not going to, I've already tried everything. I'm sure you hear that all the time. I've tried everything. I just can't lose the weight. You know what I mean?
But even guys that have tried everything with only 20 pounds to lose, they're still way more likely. So I think you're right. And what we say is a lot of times when we get someone 295, 298, something
But the
along
thing
those
with
lines,
being comfortable real quick is like, it doesn't feel this is the weirdest fucking thing ever. You're not really comfortable. It doesn't feel comfortable. I'm not saying that like you bitch about living in an apartment, but you actually love living in an apartment. It's not that. Or you bitch about being 380 pounds. You actually love being 380 pounds. Comfortability this is not the comfortability I'm talking about. What I'm talking about being comfortable is I'm talking about that's what you're used to.
Right.
So you're comfortable in it because it's what you're used to, not because it feels good, but because it's safe, because that's what you're used to.
well, here's what we say. Is when someone schedules at 295, 298, we know it's pretty much a done deal because they stepped on the scale. They're like, oh shit, I've tried all these things. I am not
Before it gets to that no return point. Yeah.
I'm not going to be a 300 pound individual. Whereas if someone's 380, I mean, they were in that same spot 80 pounds ago. And they're like, you know what? Okay, let's see where this goes. So I think it's a mix of both.
Right.
Because, someone that should be where anyone draws a line in the sand. When you see a 3 on the scale, you'd be like, okay, it's time to fucking do something drastic.
Yeah.
But if you get to 320, 340, then that means you got to that place that 95% of people would have drawn the line in the sand and said, all right, I need help. And you've allowed yourself to go way past that. So why now would you do it? Even at 400,
Right.
the same individual's probably not going to do anything.
Right.
So I was just
So what
curious.
if they were at 398 and they're like, oh, now I'm getting to
Talking
the
about 298?
No, 398. I'm telling you, 300 seems to be the sweet spot.
Okay.
If they've allowed themselves to get 10 pounds over 300, we've just found, and I would have never guessed this, but this is just what our experience says. If they've allowed themselves to go 10 pounds over, then they've already gone past the point of like.
So you
they're
hear
there.
this, guys? If you're over 300 pounds, it's time to prove Joel wrong.
There's some exceptions to the rule. We've helped 698 clients as of have signed up to this
Nice.
point.
That's awesome.
And I will say I can count on one hand the people in the 300 pounds. But a couple of them have came in, they've squashed that. Usually bigger guys too. If you're
Right.
6'6",
Yeah.
6'8".
and 315, then it's a little bit different. But they've come in and they've crushed it. But I will say, you would think after 700 clients, we'd have more than 5 over 300 pounds, especially because I would say 15% of our calls booked are that.
Really?
Yeah. And once we see it, it's like, fuck.
Right.
Like they could have good job. They could say 10 out of 10 motivated.
Right.
They could say the one I had yesterday, man, I want to be around for my daughters. I want to yada, yada, yada.
So what was his excuse?
Money.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's too expensive.
What's crazy is too, he's like, yeah, we tried to have her for 10 years. That's why I had her so late. We did in vitro 4 times. I was like, dude, I know that's 10 grand a pop.
Yeah.
You're telling
Yeah.
me we're talking about 10% of that, what you've spent
Right.
in vitro, not even. So
Right.
you could find, I even said that. I was like, so you're telling me someone comes to your house right now, knocks on your door, puts a gun to your head and says, hey, it's going to be this amount or we're blowing your head off. You couldn't find it?
Right.
Because at this point, I'm just like trying to get him to see, dude,
Yeah.
you're full of shit.
Right.
Like, I could care whether you do the program or not, but I at least want you to get off the phone knowing not, oh, yeah, I tried that, but I didn't have enough money. Or
Right.
it's like, no, I looked into that, but I was making excuses of why I didn't do it.
And it's a good analogy that you used, like
It
like,
is, dude. You're 380.
right, you're on the brink of death. Like it's somebody's got a gun to your head, basically.
All these different medications, dude, was just now has diabetes. I'm like, how bad are you going to let this get? But I felt like that kind of tied in. But yeah, I was just curious what your thoughts were because it's kind of a crazy anomaly that I've found over the last couple of years. So I guess maybe that translates to whatever you're trying to do. Maybe there is a line in the sand, like you said. You hit a low point.
Here's the deal, dude. So that guy, when he gets to 380, right? He's made so many promises to himself that he's already broken. Like you make so many promises to yourself that you've broken to get to a point of 380. I mean, I'm sure there was like a 200 point where it was like, all right, getting a little chubby. Then there's like a 250 point, like, all right, we're going to do this, this, and this, like plan to action. There's that 300 point, like, all right, man, that didn't work, but all right, it's time to really go. By the time you break so many different promises to yourself, like you are just fucking beaten down inside and you don't have any like mental fortitude left. That's a problem. That's why it's so important to stick to your word, especially like your word of what you tell yourself. Like if you tell yourself something, you got to fucking do it. You got to honor that. Because every time you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you don't do it, it knocks your self-confidence down. Really, it knocks yourself down a little bit more every single time on a scale. You know what I mean? And you believe in yourself a little bit less every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't. And, you get to a point of that much fucking defeat to where you don't even believe you. You sit there and say something, you don't even believe you're going to do it.
It goes back to that confidence thing. Because
Yeah.
in his head, he's probably thinking, oh man, this sounds too good to be true. This isn't for me.
Yep.
I haven't put in the work, or I'm not good enough to get those type of results. It's like,
But this is like, all right, so this right here is a perfect example of being the person, all right, of living the life now that you want to live later.
acting like the person.
Right. So you got a guy that's 380 pounds, right? If he were to sit there right now and say, okay, like what's say my diet right now? I'm 215. I'm eating 3,100 calories a day. I'm working out in the gym every day, plus doing cardio every day. So if he were to want to say be my size or have my physique, which, you know, I'm not even where I want to be yet, but just saying, for a guy 380, 215 is probably a pretty good fucking number. So if he's 380 and he were to take on my lifestyle right now and say, all right, tomorrow, this is my fucking diet. This is my, I'm going to do this cardio. I'm going to the gym and doing this. This is my routine. Every fucking day I'm doing it.
And
right?
committing. That's a big part too.
And did it. And he lived the life that I live on a daily basis. It wouldn't happen overnight, and he'd be hungry as fuck at first. Actually, 3,100 calories is still quite a bit. But over time, he would fucking get to my size or close to. Guaranteed.
At least way better
Guaranteed.
in a position than he's in.
100%. You know what I mean? And that's the prime example of you have to live the life that you want to be down the road, to receive what you want to be down the road now. Like, that's something that's actually tangible, right? So you could see a guy that would do that and stick to it and tangibly lose the weight. You can see that. You know what I mean? The business shit is not tangible. Like, you could take progress pictures for that guy losing the weight and actually see, like, every month he's losing weight. You know what I mean? Say you want to create a company and you know, you want to be a CEO or you want to make 7 figures. I mean, I guess you can look at your bank account through the process, but a lot of times it doesn't work like that. You know, a lot of the times when you're creating a company, it's like nothing, grind, boom. You know, and then it takes off. Then you have like a spurt. Then it might be like, you know, nothing, lower, up, boom, another spurt, you know? So it's not as tangible. It's harder to see when you're talking about aspects like that, but it's the same concept all the way through. You know, even when we talk about the fuckboy that's out fucking around, banging a bunch of different bitches every fucking day, and then wanting someone that's, huh?
I'm kidding.
That's what Josh used to do.
You were pointing at
That's what Josh used to do, Megan. No, I'm just kidding. But the fuckboy that's around banging a bunch of different bitches every day, but then he didn't, Megan. I'm kidding. But then actually wants an honest and loyal person in his life. You can't receive an honest and loyal woman or wife or whatever if you're not a fucking honest and loyal person back to them. It just doesn't work that way. And that works through your whole life with everything that you do.
Year and a half ago, I'd go to the gym and I'd see Josh. He's like 100. He's 135 pounds, but he's lifting. He worked with me for a little bit, so we got him tracking his calories and macros. But if you looked at him in the gym, you'd be like, all right, this guy's in decent. If you took his shirt off, you're like, all right, this guy obviously lifts. But if you saw him in like a t-shirt, you're like, all right, 135, maybe not.
I used to always make fun of him for having abs because I was like, dude, you can't. You got abs at like 130, bro. That doesn't count.
But he was
like,
working.
You're skinny.
He was putting in the
Those aren't
effort
abs.
of somebody that was 185,
Right.
bunch of muscle, great physique. Fast forward a year and a half. What are you, like 180, 185?
Right now 170.
One set
I'm cutting back
looked
down.
like 180. So that just goes to show that he was
At
working.
like 5.
I'm 5'5",
Yeah.
5'4", 5'5".
So that's for 5'5". That's a fucking
pretty stout.
decent weight.
He was working like somebody who is 170, lean, bunch of muscle. It just wasn't, the results weren't there yet. But that didn't deter him. He kept putting in that work, and then what do you fucking know? The results always catch up. So that's just how it works with fitness, literally any aspect of life.
One last thing I want to say too is that there's no fucking shortcuts to this shit. There's not. Like, you have to put in the work. You have to live this life. You have to do what you want to do and be that person to get the outcome that you want. Anytime you cut a corner, it's going to cut a corner in your result. I mean, there's no fucking cutting corners.
I'll say there is one shortcut.
What?
I think you'll agree with me.
What?
I'm not saying it's easy.
What?
So I firmly believe that, the 10,000 hour rule. To become like an expert or a master at anything, you got to put in 10,000 hours.
Okay.
I also believe that if you work with mentors or coaches that have either put in 10,000 hours themselves or worked with coaches and mentors themselves that have accumulatively put in that 10,000 hours plus, then it may not be financially convenient at the time. So that's why I'm saying it's not easy, but it is going to be a shortcut on your time, on your energy, and definitely on the mistakes you're making.
That's not the fucking shortcut I'm talking about.
It's not cutting corners, but
No.
it is going to be a shortcut if you're talking about doing
hiring a
something
fucking
quicker.
coach to help you, like, so that you can learn from the mistakes that they made without you having to make those mistakes. To me, that's not a shortcut. That's working smarter, not harder.
Right.
I mean, you're still investing. Like, you got to pay for that coach. You're investing money into that.
Yes.
That's, in my mind, that's not a shortcut at all. That's actually
it's a more direct path, though. So I would say I would classify.
Right, but
it
what
as
I'm
shortcut.
talking about is like, all right,
You're not going to scam
this
the
morning
system.
I can come to fucking work at 9 instead of 7.
Right.
Things have been going all right. So this morning I'll come to work at 9 instead of 7. I met with the guys. I usually meet with the guys 5 days a week, but they're doing pretty fucking good. So I'll start meeting with the guys 3 days a week.
I call that getting
I'll go back and
comfortable.
start meeting with the guys 1 day a week.
You don't want to get comfortable.
You know, like my cardio was really good yesterday, so I could skip my cardio today. Like, I did extra yesterday, so I'll skip my cardio today. I ate really clean yesterday, so I deserve 1 Reese's peanut butter cup today when I'm in my cut. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things that I'm talking about. You can't take shortcuts.
Like cutting corners.
Cutting corners. And not only that, it comes down to like, man, I think there's so much that comes down to like who you are as a person and your core values. And for me, when I'm optimal and I'm giving everything that I can to life and I'm being the best version of myself, I'm living to my core values. I'm living the best version of me to who I am, and I can feel that shit inside myself. I know that I'm aligned inside. I know that like everything that I'm doing is the best of my ability to everything that I believe in, right? But anytime I start cutting corners, I can feel that shit too. Anytime I don't put in my full effort, I can feel that shit too, because I know that I'm not living up to my full potential. Anytime I start not living up to my core values, not being the person that I know that I should be, that doesn't feel right? My fucking core values say, hey, this is who you are. You're aligned here. You do this, this, and this. We are this person. We do these things. We don't do these things. We treat people this way. We don't treat people that way. Everybody gets off from time to time. And I call that cutting corners too, and taking fucking shortcuts, not being your true authentic self. And when you get off in those fucking core values, you can feel that shit too. You know what I mean? Like, when something doesn't align with who you are and who you want to be, you can feel that shit. I used to get out of fucking relationships and go get laid like crazy. Like, that was kind of my like fallback. You know what I mean? Like, now I get out of relationships and I don't even want to do that. I don't even care. Like, that is not something because that's not what I'm aligned with anymore. I used to be aligned with going out and having fun because it was fun or easy to get over something else. Now I'm aligned with being my true fucking best self, being the best version of me that I can be, and finding my fucking wife down the road. Like, that's what I'm aligned with. So I get out of that situation. I don't even fall back to that anymore, because I used to fall back to that and it doesn't feel good because it's not who I'm aligned with. It doesn't make me feel better. And when you're not living your true purpose to who you're fucking aligned with and your core values, you're fucking cutting corners.
You feel like
you're not
shit
putting
about
in
it.
your full potential, and you will feel like shit. You'll start getting anxiety. You'll start feeling like you're off. Like, you can just tell that you're not on your fucking path. You're not being the best person that you can fucking be. And that will never fucking get you to where you want to be either. Like, the shit goes all the way through.
Dude, on that same note, I don't know if I said this before the podcast or on the podcast, but jokingly, but mostly serious, I said the 75 hard, I don't want to have I know Gata did it. I don't want to have, all right, Gata did it and I can't do it, right? I've tried this shit like 4 times now. I always end up drinking.
Right.
That's part of it. But I will say that's not the thing that if I'm at a party and everyone's drinking or eating cake or whatever, I don't think like, well, fucking Gata. I gotta beat Gata. The thing that does get me past those tough times that I do want to crack or just compromise with myself or cut corners is I remember vividly 2 times out of the 3 or 4 attempts that I've tried the 75 hard. 3 officially, 1 was like testing the waters. But I remember 2 times specifically where I was committed, I was putting in the work, I was a couple weeks in or so, and then I ended up saying, fuck it, I'm only a couple weeks in, I'll restart later. I had a couple drinks, partied, out at dinner with friends both times, had a great time. But as soon as I woke up in the morning, man, we've all had that early morning like, dude, you're such a fucking failure.
Yep.
Why did you do that?
Yep, just depressed the whole next day.
Just that feeling of shame. So when I'm in that now, I'm like, dude, that fucking...
I don't want to feel that tomorrow.
I would rather fucking almost get hit by a car than feel that. It just feels so shitty. So I just think
And
of
what
that.
that is what I'm talking about. That's
yeah.
You're not living up to your true potential.
Right.
Like, you're not aligned with your core values in that moment. You woke up the next morning and you go, fuck, dude, I fucked up.
Yeah.
That wasn't me living my true authentic self.
Yeah, why did I do that?
Like, I didn't
shit?
put in all my effort. This is not, I want to be optimal every fucking day. And what that is you knew that you weren't optimal.
Yeah.
So you feel like shit.
I
You feel like
bitched out.
a failure. Yeah.
And I don't like to fucking,
Right.
I'm not the type of person, I don't want to look in the mirror and be like, you know what, you're the type of guy that fucking bitches out. But I
Yeah.
had to that morning. Like, there's
Yeah.
no other way around it.
And that's why
I lied to myself.
Andy Vercilla says the win every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about yesterday. It's not about tomorrow. Like, when you're in the present, you're actually running through your goals. It's every fucking day. All you got to do is win today. Get through today. Stay aligned with your core values. Don't take any shortcuts today. Be the best fucking version of yourself today. You know what I mean? Like, do that today. And if you can do that today and then do it again today, but tomorrow, and then do it again today, the next day, then you're going to win every fucking day and you're going to live your best self. And that's how you get to the place that you want to be.
Yeah, because if I drink tonight, those previous 27 days don't matter. I'm going to wake up tomorrow feeling like a fucking failure. So it
Yep.
really is every day.
And then it's so much easier to throw everything out. Like, most people don't just drink one night and then say, okay, I'm going to, like, the next
Back on
morning,
it, right.
the next morning you wake up and you feel like a pile of shit and you say, okay, well, I'm restarting today. No, most people are like, oh, well, I already fucked up. So might as well go do this, or might as well have
pancakes.
might as well have some drinks tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow night, or might as well go to that party this weekend. Then I already fucked it up. You know, people usually don't get right back on. So you've got, like, say you had 3 months of fucking great progress of living your best life and being your authentic self. You fuck up that one time and you don't stay true to you, right? You fuck up that one time and you don't stay true to yourself, which, let me say, everybody fucks up from time to time.
Right.
You don't fuck up once and go, like, you know, beat yourself up and kill yourself or whatever. It's not how it works. But it does fucking hurt and it does suck when you become accustomed to the habit and that form of living your best self every day and staying true to who you are and your core values and morals every day. You become accustomed to that feeling. It feels good. So when you do fuck up, it feels like shit, man.
Yeah.
But like I said, you take 3 months of, or even 2 months of living every day like that and fucking killing it and winning and staying true to you and who you are. And you feel good as a man and you feel good as a person or a woman if you're listening and you're female, because you know that you're living your best fucking life every day. Even though not every day shit works out the way that you want it, it doesn't matter. You go to bed, you're like, man, I still put in every fucking ounce of effort that I could. I still stayed true to who the fuck I am today. It doesn't fucking matter. But then you have that one fuck up, right? You let that one thing go. Then it might take another fucking month to get back to that point. That's why it's so
Momentum is huge.
it's why it's so imperative to just stick with it. And that's why I'm saying, like, you cannot win taking shortcuts. You have to stay true to what you want, who you want to be, to your core values, to who you are as a person. Like, you have to put in that fucking effort. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's fucking painful. But the results down the road are going to be way better than had you not.
And I think you'll be happier as just a person, knowing that you're putting in the work. Because I still have
The way that I see it is it's painful either way, right? So if you're being the best version of yourself that you can be and you're staying true to this goal, like whatever it may be, and you're staying true to your core values and you're busting ass every fucking day and you know, you've had to make sacrifices, right? You're being your best self every fucking day. That can be painful sometimes. It
running
is.
5 miles in the heat fucking blows.
That
That
can be-
doesn't compare to waking
That
up
can be
feeling
painful.
like a failure.
But listen to this. So that is at least painful every day, but it's also rewarding because you're being the best version of yourself and you're getting to a place you want to be. Now, look at the flip side. So say that you're not that every day, and every day that you know you're fucking up and you're not living to the best of your ability, right? That's fucking painful too. That don't feel good either. Knowing that you're not living to the best of your ability, knowing that you're off from your core values, and you can feel it inside that, man, I'm just not living the life that I want to live. I'm not living the life that feels good to me. Like, this is not right. That's fucking painful too, but that's worse painful because then you're not even getting the results. It's not even rewarding. Down the road, you're still in the same fucking place. You're not ever actually getting anywhere. At least with the other one, you're going through pain, you're suffering, you're making some sacrifices, like maybe you didn't get to go to your buddy's party. Maybe you didn't get a drink that weekend. Maybe you didn't get a drink at 4th of July or whatever it may be. Maybe you didn't get to go to you skipped your trip to Mexico, your all-inclusive trip to Mexico because you knew that, you're trying to have fucking abs this summer and that was going to fuck up your whole plan. You know what I mean? Like, it's painful because you made some sacrifices. You're going to have some more time to yourself. Like, there's going to be more time for reflection and being true to who you are. But you're also fucking growing through that. You're growing. You're becoming stronger as a man or as a person or as a woman. And you're becoming stronger in who you are and what you believe in and what you value also. But then it's fucking rewarding and you actually get to the place that you want to be. I'd rather sit through that pain and get to the place that I want to be and rewarded down the life and live the life that I truly want than sit through the other pain where I know that I'm not living to my full potential and I still don't ever fucking get anywhere.
100%.
Well, it's painful, like you said, when you're doing the shit that you're supposed to be doing. But every day you're gonna feel good about yourself. You know, like I fucking crushed it today. I did my goals. I hit it. I'm consistent. You know, and it's exactly what you said. One day at a time. You know, I'm 9 years sober, and literally to this day, I'm just gonna stay sober today. Fuck tomorrow. Fuck when I get married. Who the fuck cares?
Had to bring the AA into it.
Not AA.
Dude, 9
sober.
years
No,
is
it's good.
nuts.
9 years.
Yeah.
You know, it adds up, you know?
Yeah.
Are there still times that you're like craving a drink, or are you like
No, it's done and
not in line
gone
with your who you are anymore?
right. I don't even really think about it anymore. You know?
It's badass.
That is a big feat.
Yeah.
It's a big feat.
Yeah.
So I think we'll leave it with that, man. This has been a good podcast, a lot of good fucking info. But that's really it. Like, be who you want to be down the road now. That's how you get to where you want to be down the road. Be that person now, and that's how you'll get there later. You know, that's really it. Be who you want to be down the road now. Like, look at it reverse. And I feel like we've
It's
had
not
this
going to
topic
happen by
before.
chance.
No.
You're not going to luck into a 7-figure business or a 6-pack.
Exactly.
You need to start acting like that individual.
Right.
And then cultivate those results.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been the Dads Who Live podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys got any value out of this, which you had to have, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We do this stuff for free, guys, and we don't run any ads. We want to grow it organically. So if you can just tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. We really appreciate your support. We have all the podcast formats. We're on fucking everything, like iCloud, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that stuff. All the formats are on our website. We also have apparel on the website as well, hats, shirts, hoodies. That's all at www.dadswholiftofficial.com. We are on IG as Dads Who Lift Official. We are on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast. And then we also have a Facebook group, which again is a group on Facebook of like 50,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit at the same time. If you are a father and that's something that interests you, you can check that out. Again, it's a Facebook group called Dads Who Lift Official. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great day.
It's forever, this life forever, no surrender. It's forever, this life forever. I bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive. I bigger dead than alive, dead than alive. Yeah, I bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive.